Hello and welcome to Tangerine, and this week we're looking at Resident Evil Resistance and World War Z, and I'm joined here once again by Vietnam Wave,
Hello.
aka Resident Evil Wave, as we were looking at Resident
That
Evil.
too. Resident Evil Resident Expert.
Our
Yeah.
Resident Evil
That's
expert.
That's
Yes.
the one.
Yeah.
So you actually played Resident Evil Resistance with me. So if you don't know, there was a beta out before Resident Evil 3 came out, because as well as releasing the remake for Resident Evil 3, they are also alongside releasing a asymmetric horror game, 1v4 sort of thing, like Dead by Daylight or something, or what's it called? The school one. The Last Night.
Last Year the Nightmare.
Last Year the Nightmare, yeah. Sort of like that thing where you play as the mastermind, which is more you're on CCTV cameras. You play as a French guy called Daniel, and you put traps down through like a card system, and you need energy to spend on the cards. And then the survivors, you play as your goal is you're trying to get credits to buy like items to use to get through and complete the trials and escape sort of thing. So we mainly played as I think we only played survivors, and then you gave up on the game and decided to
pretty
end
quickly.
playing it. I played Mastermind once and decided to quit. Basically, I was throughout playing it, I was like, Mastermind's fucking OP, because I was getting wrecked by Mastermind like every single game, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then I played Mastermind, and I was like, and then I got matched against the four pros of this game, and I was like, shit, I'm getting wrecked. Because when we were playing, right, we were just playing with random people, and we had like no teamwork. Nobody knew what was going on.
I think the game is designed for teamwork and communication, because otherwise you just get messed up.
But then as soon as I switched to Mastermind and I queued up, I got matched against a team. They were perfectly hacking every camera. They knew exactly what to do, and I was like, oh my god, like this is such a terrible experience, not knowing what to do. Like,
so basically, the more you know this game, the less fun it becomes to some extent.
I guess
like for the mastermind.
It depends. Like if you're good at Mastermind, you can maybe outplay people.
Okay.
But I'll just talk about like the survivor sort of thing first, because I got footage for Mastermind, and I'll talk about that. So the idea is that it's counting down, and you have to get your way to the next objective, which I think is that I think there was just one map for the beta, and I think the puzzle you were solving was you need to find 3 keys to open a door to get to the next section. So I think the overall goal of the map is you're trying to shut down like this red T-virus essence sort of thing, because there's a tutorial for this game, which is like 10 times better than Last Year the Nightmare, which does not have a tutorial. So I'll give
it tells you how to play it, but it's not great.
The servers for the beta weren't very like it had multiple issues with like getting the game to run, and they had to take it off the Steam and take it down and re-put it up. The servers were having issues. And as you can see here, with like struggling with the host and that sort of stuff.
And this is run through. Wait, so so you were playing. It was like a separate thing because it was in beta.
Yeah,
but it is now.
Now it's like
it was a separate
part
thing
of
at
Resident
the time,
Evil 3.
And now it just
So I feel like there's almost like no. Like I don't think they did it on purpose, but if you were like if you were suspicious, what's the word? Paranoid? No, like if you thought they had the worst intentions in mind, I can't remember the word for that.
Right.
Pessimistic?
If you were pessimistic, you may think that they purposely released them together so there was no store page for Resistance to see like negative reviews on it sort of thing.
Yeah, I could get that.
Because I would assume there's not a lot of people playing Resistance right now. The beta seemed kind of dead. Like there wasn't that many people playing the beta, and then people just wanted to play Resident Evil 3. They didn't really give a shit about this sort of thing. Like comparing it to other asymmetric horror games, I would say it's closer to Last Year than Dead by Daylight, and that's a bad thing in my opinion because I don't think Last Year is very good. So.
It seems to me like it was a Resident Evil project that wasn't going anywhere, and they didn't want to scrap the work they'd done in it, but they didn't want to make it its own game.
Yeah, I think what you're saying makes sense. Like, they were probably working on this while they were making Resident Evil 2, and before Resident Evil 2 came out, right? And then they saw Resident Evil 2 came out and like, shit, this is really popular. Let's do Resident Evil 3. But they'd already kind of developed this, is what I would assume what's happening, speculation. And then they kind of put this together with Resident Evil 3 and had to use some of the development time to like kind of piece the two together, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because it seems like the Resident Evil 3 game, we have a spotlight on it if you want to watch it, and we have one for 2 as well. It kind of seemed like it wasn't as long as Resident Evil 2, and it seems like some of the development time went to this game instead. And it was more like rushed because it came out very quickly after 2 as well. They were like, they were like a year apart, right? 2 and 3.
Even that? I can check it.
I think it was 1 year between them. So yeah. What do you think of this game, Dave?
I like the idea of it more than the game itself. And
yeah, I felt like saying like, oh, it's an asymmetric horror game like DBD, but in a Resident Evil universe. That sounds really fucking cool. But like the actual, realized game of it wasn't that good, I thought.
No. Like I say, I like them taking risks and trying new things rather than stagnating, making the same thing over and over again, which is kind of what they're doing anyway by remaking all of the games.
Yeah, but you can remake this. It's not the same game. It's a different story, though. Like, I would argue you can kind of get away with that if you change up the story.
Yeah, so, you could. But
I agree. New things are cool as well. Is this what we wanted?
No,
it's not what I want.
No one wanted this.
It sounds amazing. Like, you can play as Wesker as a mastermind, right? That's the thing. You can...
Yeah, I believe. I know Jill Valentine just got. Yeah. I think she was added as a survivor sort of thing, but I don't know if like Wesker from the later games is included. I mean, he's a fan favorite, so I mean they have Mr. X in. If like here he is. So like you, as I was talking about playing from the CCTV guy's perspective,
I can play as Alex.
You can save up for like a powerful card, and then you can go in and control Mr. X, which is I think like going in and controlling Mr. X is the most fun I had in this game. Like that was really fun.
Yeah, each time I came up on him, I just couldn't deal with him. I had to try and run away, and he would always.
Yeah, I think you're supposed to run away, but I was like trying to punch him and kill him, which I don't think you're supposed to do. I think you're supposed to just like, because I think he's on a timer, I think as well. So I think you're kind of just trying to get around,
escape from him. But
yeah,
you're on a timer as well. It's the problem, and you can't really do your objective. See, this was me running away, and I got just stopped by all the normal zombies.
Yeah.
But I think I get messed up by him pretty soon.
Because we were playing different classes. You were like a hacker character, and you can hack in the because the way the director puts stuff down is he has to be looking in the CCTV to put stuff down. So if you can hack all the cameras he's looking in, it's really effective. Like I was having that done to me, and it was really hard to play the game. So like it seems like skill of knowing how to play the game like really changes up how the game is played, sort of thing. But like, I didn't feel like keep just grinding and playing games over and over again to kind of get better at the game, because I felt like I wasn't having fun anyway, sort of thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I had fun.
Probably like 4,
about
maybe
3 or 4.
Yeah,
and then you did that,
and then I played a mastermind game.
Yeah, I gave up on it.
You didn't want to play anymore after that, okay?
No,
I would have no intention of going back and playing.
I honestly, I'll say now, I don't really have any intention of playing Resident Evil Resistance again, unless there was some sort of major overhaul to the game. Yeah.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen, because it does feel like a failed project that they've just bundled in.
Yeah,
with Resident Evil
it just
3.
feels like a lot of wasted potential. Like I feel like it could have been a good game, but it's not. Like I think Jim started a video on this, and he said it's pretty shit, but I kind of like it, and I guess that's an opinion some people have. Where it's pretty bad, but you might get some fun out of this if you're like a Resident Evil fan and you like asymmetric horror games and you're like, oh, I've played like hundreds of hours of Dead by Daylight, let's try something new, then maybe this is for you.
Yeah, or if you're playing with people you can communicate and effectively work as a team together, you might have more fun out of it that way. But playing it with just random people and no communication, it just doesn't work from what I've seen of it.
Is it not dead already, or is it still going somewhat
See,
strong?
I don't know because I can't see the store page for
Yeah.
Resistance because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, you'd have to buy Resident Evil 3. My assumption that it would be pretty dead. Like, I think, like you said, everyone will have got Resident Evil 3 to play the campaign, and then I couldn't see them really playing this. But I like the idea, just not the outcome.
Yeah.
Like, some of it could have been really cool. I like the searching the maps. That's pretty good for fun.
Oh, hang on, I found
find.
the store page. At the request of the... Okay, so here we go. At the request of the publisher, Resident Evil Resistance is unlisted on the Steam store and will not appear in the search. So you can't search for this game, but you can, if you have the link to it, you can go to it. So I had to Google around to find this, but it's got around 1,000 average players in the past 30 days. It's got mixed reviews. They've already done like a microtransaction shop sort of thing for the game.
Dear.
Yep. One of the reviews says, please add dedicated servers. Because at the moment it's got the DBD problem where they had where the host was the director, and that meant like if he was lagging, then the servers were just fucked. Better balance, some kind of anti-cheat, and maybe crossplay, so this game won't die in the distant future. Yeah, I think that's fair what that guy's saying. Like, I don't know. Like, it's not got good reviews on the unlisted. So they've specifically unlisted the page. So
that doesn't look good.
Yeah,
but
kind of hiding all the negative press sort of thing. Like, I think it's pretty dead on arrival. Like
financially, it makes sense for them to do that and to bundle it in with 3 because it would just tank. But there are some things I like. I like having the puzzles. That's a new thing I haven't seen in asymmetric much. I like that it's got Resident Evil style safe rooms you can hide in and go buy stuff and change out your equipment. But then again, you're on the time limit, so not that helpful.
This is me on the camera putting down traps and stuff to kind of.
What was playing the Mastermind like?
It was. I think the CCTV stuff was interesting, but I found it more fun when I was playing as the actual zombies themselves. That was more fun than being in the CCTV. It's kind of like the idea of like when you're playing DBD, it's more fun to be like the killer than it is if you were just looking at the killer from like a CCTV kind of perspective sort of thing. But you can be more strategic this way. It's just I just feel like I didn't have the necessary skill to be like.
Well, it would take a while to learn, but would you want to sit there?
There's like 50 controls, and they're all very complicated, sort of thing.
You would have to like the game a lot to
sit there
and learn to play it.
They're specifically like looking at certain cameras, and then they know which camera I'm on, and then they're like hacking them as soon as I get on them, sort of thing. Because it seemed like they were like a pre-made group, which is going to be way more common as the director, because when you queue up like we were as 2 people, then we're just getting matched with 2 other random people, and then when you play Mastermind, you're way more likely to get matched against pre-made sort of thing. But they're getting like hacked.
So they can see the cameras, or you can see the cameras.
I think they light up red sort of thing when I'm using them.
Yeah, they went red.
Wouldn't it make more sense to make it so you couldn't hack them, and it's just that you could like avoid it? Like,
I feel like
around.
The hacker character is really strong against the director sort of thing. If you have an organized team, because then you can just deny him from placing any traps near you. So he has to go into rooms you're going to go into more and place traps down ahead of time. But then that comes into like the idea that I need to know the map. I have no idea where they're going. So like, there's another thing with like. not knowing where they're going or where I need to place trap stuff. But like they're 4 minutes in and they're already like she's hacking the camera. They've already got all the puzzle pieces. My guess is these people have just been playing this nonstop since the beta. Because there's no like rank system in the beta, and I'm guessing there's no like matchmaking kind of skill-based matchmaking for this, which I think would make it a lot better. Like if I was matched against people who had just started playing for the first time, then that would be like a lot more fun for me, I think.
Yeah, because then you're learning at the same time. Like it's more balanced that way.
So
yeah, but after playing
Jim's
as playing as both the director and the survivors, I didn't want to play the game anymore. Like after I finished this session of recording, I uninstalled it, and I was like, I don't have any interest in playing it. Like I might play it. The thing is, I'll say I might play it again because I plan on getting Resident Evil 3. So just by proxy of it being bundled by Resident Evil 3, that's probably good for the game.
Yeah.
So I might try it out again at some point.
How hard was it to become a mastermind? Like, did you have to queue up for very long, or
the queue times were kind of bad? Like the amount of people playing.
Yeah, because Jim Sterling, our friend Jim.
Yeah, good friend Jim.
Yeah, he said like he literally physically couldn't become a mastermind. Like there was
yeah,
no
I think more people are queuing for mastermind than survivors. You usually see that imbalance on like Dead by Daylight where the killer queues are way longer.
In Dead by Daylight, like especially early on, where it's just a lobby with a killer in it, and he's waiting there for God knows how long,
20-30 minutes or something. And then the bigger problem was that there was no dedicated servers either, which this game doesn't have dedicated servers as well, which is why I bring it up. Is you would just look at the killer's ping and go, oh, his ping's not good, and then you would leave, and then you'd have to wait like another 20 minutes to... Because nobody wants to play on like a laggy server, because it just ruins the game. There's no point playing on it, so... Yeah. I think this game would need like something like an overhaul of like dedicated servers, rebalancing, stuff like that to actually make it worth playing. But yeah, let's move on to the next game. A game I had a lot of fun with. It was free on the Epic Games Store. I had my eye on it for a while because I heard that it was actually a really good game. Like as soon as I saw like World War Z game, I got bad vibes about it because of the movie.
Well, you think the movie, and it is a direct tie-in. Like,
it's a tie-in to
nothing to do with Max Brooks's IP.
Why is it tied into the movie, by the way?
Like, me and Dave are fans of Max Brooks' book, The Zombie Survival Guide. I believe we've both read that.
Yeah,
and that's a
good.
Great book.
And World War Z is really good. It's like the chapters in the survival guide that are just talking about people's personal experience.
I haven't read World War Z, but I'm more interested to read it now after playing this game and reading the Zombie Survival Guide as well.
Yeah. Well, if you've watched the film and played the game, it's nothing to do with that.
Yeah. Anyway, but this is actually really good.
Yeah, very, very fun. Love this game.
This is just us going through like a random level. I think this is the end of New York on hard mode, I believe.
The end of New York, yeah.
So if you had never played this before, the general idea is it's kind of like a game like Left 4 Dead. You are four survivors.
Very Left 4
Dead. Going through a zombie-infested level, and you're trying to get to the end to get an escape and get to the next level. It's very much like we were saying, like this is kind of like what we'd expect Left 4 Dead 3 would look like now, sort of thing. You have like special effects, like you have the bulls that are very much like the Chargers sort of / tank sort of thing. You have the infectors, which are very much like the spitters, that sort of thing. I think
lurkers, which are hunters. Yeah, like most zombie games, the special infected. There's only so many special infected ideas out there, and they tend to get used a lot. But I don't mind it.
The thing I think that differentiates this game a lot more from a game like Left 4 Dead is you have the kind of like XP kind of leveling up system. So every single gun in the game, when you use them, you get XP for them, and you can buy upgrades to make them better. And you also have character levels, and you can pick a class sort of thing, which kind of differentiates it from other games like this, like Left 4
Yeah,
Dead,
if you think
Payday,
Left 4
that sort of
Dead,
thing.
it's just you go in there, you get guns. There's no leveling up. There's no character progression.
Yeah.
Whereas this has got it. I kind of prefer Left 4 Dead's having none of it at all, because then it's an even playing field for everyone.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think it like having a
So it's
level
just
up
different, like,
lets them have the higher difficulties.
To replayability. Like it makes you want to go back and play it more.
Mm.
But we were saying that we wish this had more content.
Yeah, so I think they recently added Horde mode, which is something we've been playing a lot, which is like a great, because the thing is, leveling up like your levels and guns and stuff is all great in the campaign, but like it's a lot easier in Horde mode, and I'm glad they added Horde mode.
Yeah.
Because it basically, you just keep defending endless waves sort of thing, and you can buy weapons and defenses and stuff, and that's a great way to level up. Because before, what you would have to do is you would have to just play the campaign over and over again sort of thing, and there's only like 4 campaigns or 5 maybe. There's New York, Russia,
Israel,
and Tokyo.
Japan. Yeah, Japan.
I think Tokyo's the final one, right?
Yeah.
Because I think they added Tokyo later on. I think that was like more content they added later on, sort of thing. Because they added like the boat section, which I talked about in a previous podcast, I believe. But yeah, I've had my eye on this for a while, and as soon as I saw it's free in Epic, I was like, guys, pick this up because I heard this is actually a really good, like, legit game, sort of thing.
You were right. It's very fun. Just sad that there's not much content for it. Once you've done the campaigns, you've done them. You'd only go back
Well,
to
I'd say like
difficulties.
we've probably put. Well, I think I personally put in like 30 to 40 hours just playing the campaign high difficulties and playing Horde mode, and I'm still enjoying playing that. So
yeah,
so
it can be quite challenging.
oh, another thing that's quite different from Left 4 Dead, you can stealth a lot of the levels. You can get silenced weapons, and you can choose to get past a lot of the encounters through stealth, which is something you can't really do on like Left 4 Dead. Pretty cool, which is very important for the higher difficulties.
Yeah.
Because
I have a
the
question.
zombies in high
So I
difficulties.
saw like the media of this before it came out. It's like, you know, like the thing where like the zombies stack on top of each other, they try and climb up to get you.
Yeah.
How important is that mechanic?
Yeah, they very
time.
quickly do. Like, it's important to stop them from piling up to get over fences and stuff. Especially in like the big action sections.
Yeah. Is that not like an additional mechanic for you to like mess? Oh, there I can see it there now. Actually,
Yeah,
that's really cool. Yeah, so does that not add like an extra layer to like the there's like tons of zombies as well?
Yeah. So the big thing about this is it's like it's kind of like the Left 4 Dead mod you installed where there was less special infected but more common infected, and I think that's kind of the idea of World War Z. Is it's very much a horde game. Like there's very much about lots of common infected, and then throughout the level there's the special infected. But I'd say it's more about just fighting giant hordes of zombies, which is always really cool to play and see.
I think it sounds of it adding the extra layer of stealth to it. To me, seems more interesting than what Left 4 Dead had. For me personally, but obviously
yeah, because you can go and you can like go and stealth very hard missions, and then switch. You always have to eventually go loud. There's no mission you can fully stealth.
Yeah, there's just sections.
Yeah,
and it's easy to mess up stealthing, but it's a nice mechanic.
You have to take like a silenced weapon because you can change which weapon you start with and stuff. You can make it so you always start with a silenced weapon if you level it up, so that's cool. What are you going to say?
It's just something I wish it was on Steam, not Epic, just so that someone could put it on the workshop and people could make their own content for it.
Yeah,
it would be the perfect replacement for.
I think that the one thing is lacking is like community content. Because
if they had that, it would be amazing.
Yeah, like obviously custom maps would be really cool. They do have like
the Rings map.
Yeah, like Helm's Deep. Like, did I do a spotlight on Helm's Deep for Left 4 Dead? I feel like I did.
I feel like we have.
But that shit will be epic. But if it was on Steam, Dave, you probably would have never played it because it wouldn't have been free.
There is that.
Yeah.
But if it was on Steam now and there was workshop support, I would probably pay money for it.
Cool. So the idea is your character spawns with like a secondary weapon, and then throughout the levels you can pick up primary weapons like AKs and stuff, and then you can also pick up heavy weapons. So that's kind of how they distribute the weapons. So the heavy weapons are like grenade launchers, chainsaws, miniguns, that sort of thing. So that's how they balance the weapons, which I think is a really good system. And also,
we haven't talked about classes.
I have talked about classes, just not too much. So I'm playing the Gunslinger class, which is very much about fast reloads, that sort of stuff. Is very basic. I think that's the default class. You're playing as which class are you playing as? This explosive one?
Just trying to remember where this is. We've got a random guy in our party.
Yeah, there's a random guy playing medic.
Early on, I think I was the exterminator.
Yeah, I believe you're exterminator. Do you see these turrets here? These are like the military left them, and they're shooting the zombies, but they're also going to shoot us. So we can destroy them, but we can also hack them and use them, which is quite useful at certain points. On this level, it makes no difference. I don't know why you're supposed to hack them on this level, but other levels it actually makes sense to hack them.
No, because they're not always there. They're distributed like randomly each time.
There's kind of like the element of like Left 4 Dead where there's random spawns for like certain things. So sometimes turrets spawn there, sometimes claymores spawn there. Sometimes there'll be like a bull coming out the elevator and like higher difficulties. That sort of stuff.
Yeah, or the elevator's full of zombies. Yeah, and then you've got the claymores as well, which are nice. You can't keep them yourself, even if you're the class that lays claymores. But you can choose whether to disarm them to risk, to save you from going loud and to save anyone walking into them, or you choose to leave them and let the zombies walk into them if anything does happen.
So each class has its own like unique playstyle and stuff. Like the class I'm playing is like the quick reload, the frag grenades, but then you have like the medic class, which is very much about shooting stims into people, which give them temporary health, which you may have seen, which is like the yellow health bar. Medics can get the ability that if you give the medic the med kit and then he heals you, he gets healed as he heals you. So that's kind of more like the 4-player co-op kind of thing. I'd say it's definitely worth playing this game 4-player co-op with a bunch of friends each playing different classes to try and match abilities.
And I would say that if you're trying the harder levels, a medic would be essential, or in horde mode.
But then there's like Andy's class. His I don't remember what it's called, but his grenades were super useful. Because when he put them down, they were smoke grenades, and when you put them down, the zombies couldn't see you. So they were super useful for rezzing people, especially in like horde mode and stuff, where that's really important.
Doesn't the medic have those grenades?
No, the medic has the stims.
Oh, the stims, yeah.
And then there's also like I think the smoke grenade class also can spawn with breaching charges, because throughout the level you can also blow open crates to get extra supplies and defenses, and then in horde mode it gives you extra points to spend on defenses.
Yeah, you can find them dotted about the map, but it's a rare occurrence. Like, one
thing I like about like the special infected is they all seem really strong when you first fight them, and then you learn their weaknesses, and then you learn how to defeat them. Like the bull's best way to defeat him is to get behind him.
Yeah,
and if you can't do that, you can shoot his visor and headshot him to death as well.
Yeah, it's best to go from the back. There's a little spot, and he's super weak.
Like the infector has like tons of health, but if you shoot it down onto the floor, you can you can one shot it with a melee attack. Yeah.
The gas bags are weak, but they're like the boomers. You've got to be careful where you shoot them, because if one snuck up on you and you just go to kill it, you can't stand there anymore. And if your team aren't ready for it, you're going to do a lot more damage than you necessarily would taking hits trying to lure it somewhere else. But yeah, no, they've all got a way to deal with them.
This is kind of like the finale mission of the first campaign, the New York campaign. This one's really cool because you're defending a hospital full of civilians, and then you have like this massive horde of zombies coming down this football field, and then you can get like a flare gun, and you can use the flare gun to call down an airstrike on them, which is pretty cool.
Oddly, though, I think we found this one the hardest out of all the finales.
I think we didn't know where a lot of them spawned, sort of thing. Because on this one, you keep having to like turn the power back on, and also
protect the doors.
You have to keep the civilians alive, which are in the middle in the Memorial Hospital
different ways that the zombies can get to the doors. It's not this one.
It's a bit of a maze.
So we didn't really know the map very well.
Mm.
And I tried this on to solo on a harder difficulty, but I couldn't do it.
The AI is a bit not good on this game, but I think that's most games.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to think of a game. I think the AI on Deep Rock Galactic's really good when you get the little robot that can mine for you and fire rockets. That's one game where I like playing solo with the AI.
Yeah.
Just for example. But like, for example, they can't pick up med kits, so they can't heal you, which they can in Left 4 Dead, which I think is a strange choice that the AI can't heal you.
Yeah, they can't even heal themselves.
Different choice.
They won't pick up the medkits, so they won't heal themselves.
I think the idea may have been that so they don't steal the medkits from you, and you can choose how to use them.
Yeah, but
then you can't. But then if you have full medkits,
you have to stand there and heal them, and then pick up the medkit you want.
Yeah, but then it means you're limited how many medkits you can carry, because you're constantly moving on this game. Yeah. It's like zombie escape mode on.
They could just add a mechanic where you could take a medkit from an NPC or an
AI.
It could just be a single button, and that would solve the problem. But if it's in there, we don't know about it. One thing we haven't said about that I really like is being swamped by common infected.
Mm-hmm.
So this is me surrounded. You will go down unless you've got a relevant perk, and I just think that's a very neat idea.
Yeah, the idea that the common infected are almost as deadly as the special infected in crowds. Like their numbers are their strength.
Well, that is the theme of the book. They're not fast, they're slow, but there's so many of them, and they slowly encroach on you that they really can't do anything about it. The military was running out of bullets trying to tackle them and having to move back and back and back and give up more ground.
So this is from the second campaign. This is Jerusalem.
I think it's one of my favorite campaigns. Yeah. New York was alright, but I really did like the Jerusalem one. Like, it's a good part of the film is in Jerusalem, and they built a walled city around Israel to make it a sanctuary, but then they pyramid over it and things get messy.
Okay. I've never seen the movie, so...
It's alright.
Yeah.
Just don't think it has anything to do with the book.
So I believe this is where we're playing. So we haven't talked. There's also weekly missions.
Yeah,
and I believe this is the weekly mission where if you stand away from your teammates, you take damage. It's kind of like that idea where you have affixes on every week that make the game harder, sort of thing. And then the reward you get is the blue currency. So we haven't talked about the way you unlock certain weapons and cosmetics in this. Is basically how they do it is pretty much most of the game you can unlock just by playing the game. I like the monetization the way it works in this game. It's very much
it's very you don't notice it really unless you're looking for it.
If you want specific guns, like there's some specific guns that you need. Like for example, there'll be an SMG that it'll have less damage, but it'll deal like poison damage over time or something like that.
Yeah, right? Some of it's a bit pay to win. Like there's a grenade launcher that sets them on fire, and I think there's a lot of weapons you have to buy the cosmetic to get it silenced, a silenced version of it that you wouldn't otherwise be able to get.
Yeah, there's some guns locked behind the DLC you have to purchase, sort of thing. There's just it's just basically a gun pack. But a lot of the guns, basically, I talked about the core gameplay loop of leveling up characters. You can level up a character to full level 30, and then you can prestige them to level them up again, and then you unlock an extra perk. And then some guns are locked behind, like, to get this assault rifle special one, you have to level up medic to prestige 2. And then you have to spend the blue currency. And the way you get the blue currency is by doing the weekly missions or doing an impossible difficulty mission. Is it called impossible difficulty or something like that?
I think it's extreme. I'm not sure.
The main way is you grind that slowly over time, but then also you can buy the blue currency to unlock it like quicker, sort of thing. That's kind of how they do it, which I think is fine. Like I don't have a problem with that.
You can get it if you're willing to grind. you can get it.
But I wouldn't say
Which
the
is
content.
nice.
It's not like paid. Like I'd say, a lot of the stuff you don't really need it, sort of thing.
No, you
It's
wouldn't
not-
need it, but if you wanted it, you wouldn't necessarily have to pay money for it, which is nice when games do that.
We're coming up to the 35-minute mark, so I think we gotta wrap it up and conclude. So I think World War Z is really fucking cool. If you didn't get on Epic, unlucky.
Yeah,
I would recommend.
look out for it if it's at a cheap price because it's
If it ever
worth
comes
playing.
to Steam and it gets like workshop support, definitely pick it up over there.
Yeah,
We'll have to see if Epic gets workshop support or something like that. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be amazing.
I think they've got a lot of issues to sort out before that.
They're gonna have to get the shopping cart done before workshop.
Yeah, in that
yeah.
order. Shopping
Check
cart
out,
and workshop.
check out. If you got it on the Epic Store free, definitely install it with some friends and play it. Resident Evil Resistance. If you own Resident Evil 3, obviously you're gonna own it. So
yeah, give it a try.
You can, but I'd rather just play Resident Evil 3 to be honest with you.
I think that's
it's
the
worth
majority of
playing,
people.
really. So yeah, those are our 2 Tangerine zombie games. Thanks for joining us this week, Genwave, and I will see you later.
Thank you. Bye.